אז מה קורה אנשים? היום אנחנו בסרטון חדש, שהיום אנחנו נראה סרטון על 10 מאכלים שיכולים להרוג אתכם. אדם, נושא כבד, יאללה בואו נתחיל.
There are very common fruits, vegetables and seasonings you're using right now that have sadly killed people. Night fam, watch closely because you're about to hear 5 everyday foods that can kill you. Number 1. Nutmeg. You've probably seen this spice in delicious autumn desserts. But if you use too much, it can cause powerful hallucinations and even death.
הדבר היחיד שמפחיד אותי זה שזה יכול להוביל למוות.
Just look at the effects it had on a young, healthy person. A 19-year-old showed up to the hospital saying that tiny smurfs were dancing around his feet. When doctors asked, the young man said he had no idea what caused his symptoms, but soon they realized he was lying. This 19-year-old was a TikToker and he did the nutmeg challenge. To do the challenge, you have to consume large quantities of nutmeg to get high.
בוא'נה, לא ידעתי שאפשר להתמסטל מפאקינג אבקה, אבל בסדר. רק שתלמדו מזה לשלושה צופים שצופים בסרטון הזה.
I'm stupid, so I'm gonna try it. I'm only gonna do 1 teaspoon.
The problem is that nutmeg not only causes hallucinations, it also provokes vomiting, pain, confusion, among many other symptoms. In extreme cases, it causes seizures. And yes, when consumed with other substances, it can even mean death. And all of this is possible.
רק אומר, אם אוכלים משהו ביותר מדי זה לא טוב, וזה הסרטון הזה מוכיח את זה אפילו. אז כן.
Because nutmeg contains myristicin, which has similar effects to like MDMA, an ecstasy-based.
People have been doing this for hundreds of years. Stop doing it. Don't do it.
Number 2, you won't believe it, but potatoes.
אני לא ידעתי את זה. וואלה, מפתיע.
Yes, everyone loves them for the fries, hash browns, mashed potatoes and more. But only few people know it comes from a poisonous plant.
My favorite thing to do is just eat these with my hands.
Like in 1979, when 78 kids at school in London all got ill at the same time. In some cases, their central nervous system even started slowing down, so their breathing and heart rate were affected. And in the most extreme case, the kid got into comatose state. They had fits of fever and even spasms. 5 days later, those students thankfully recovered. But the crazy side effects came.
אוי לא. זה מפחיד אותי חרא זה.
From potatoes, because they contain 2 natural toxins, solanine and chacholin. And when a potato turns green, it is usually a sign that there is an excess of these toxins, and that potato is poisonous.
אז זה למה במיינקראפט יש כזה פוטטו לא מוכן והוא ירוק. וואי, רק עכשיו הבנתי. אם אתה אוכל פוטטו רעי במיינקראפט, אז יורד לך חיים.
So please, never eat potatoes if you see that they're green. And make sure to throw away the sprouts before you cook a potato. Because truth is, these children were lucky. In some cases, it is indeed true that patients die from getting poisoned by potatoes. Number 3, lychees. This fruit is sweet, but eating the wrong one can have bitter consequences. So much so that this seemingly innocent
וואי, איכס, זה עשה לי בחילה הלבן הזה שיוצא מהפרי הזה.
food killed innocent children in India for more than 2 decades. Every spring, hundreds of children had terrible symptoms with no explanation. They had fever, seizures, convulsions, and some even went into coma.
קומה? בפרי? God damn! זה מוצם, אבל זה אמיתי. אני מניח.
Many of these kids passed away, and all of them had one thing in common. They were in India's main lychee producing region. Unripe lychee fruits contain a toxin that causes acute encephalitis syndrome, an inflammation of the brain, and that's what can cause crazy side effects. And it's heartbreaking to know that because most of the kids in that area were malnourished, for them the unripe lychees were even more lethal. Number 4. Rhubarb leaves. Some of you might have already tasted how amazing rhubarb stalks are in sweet recipes.
Today I'm showing you a very seasonal recipe. It is my rhubarb cake, and it is really a celebration of rhubarb, the flavor, the color, the shape.
But rhubarb leaves are a different story. In this next case, a 47-year-old woman made a delicious smoothie with pear, cucumber, and rhubarb leaves. And 2 hours after drinking it, her saliva started feeling thick. The next day, she started having stomach issues and severe nausea. By day 4, her doctors soon realized her liver enzymes were extremely high, and eventually they realized this woman had poisoned herself with her delicious drink.
וואי, אני מצטער שאני עוצר את הסרטון כל דקה וחצי, אבל אני פשוט מה להגיד. אז הנה, עכשיו, איך לא הבינו את זה ביום הראשון שזה קרה לה? דם, אני לא יודע כלום.
Because rhubarb leaves have high concentrations of oxalic acid, which is toxic to both humans and animals. It can even damage your kidneys. Sometimes you'll even vomit blood.
בחיים לא חשבתי שאפשר להקיא מפאקינג ירק.
And sadly, yes, eating them can even kill. In fact, rhubarb leaves are part of a tragic chapter in history. During World War I, food was scarce, so the British government recommended eating rhubarb leaves. This led to several poisonings and
טוב, אני לא מאשים את הבריטים. הם לא ידעו כלום אז. שנות ה-40 לא היה כזה מתקדם.
deaths. So please, for your own safety, never eat rhubarb leaves. Number 5. Bitter almonds. Almonds can be turned into milk, sweets, and even alcoholic drinks. But if you accidentally eat bitter ones, get ready to fight for your life.
וואי, אני פאקינג לא מוכן להתחלה דרמטית הזאת.
A 36-year-old woman got admitted to her local hospital's emergency department after eating 40 bitter almonds. 4 hours later, she lost consciousness and had to be intubated. So know this, sweet almonds are safe, but bitter almonds are a terrible threat for your health. They contain toxic levels of cyanide that...
שלא יודע מה זה סיאנייד, זה כאילו חומר מריק כזה שאפשר לשים בשתייה ואז להרעיל מישהו.
Are released when you consume them, and this slows down your nervous system and causes serious breathing problems. It takes 6 to 10 almonds to seriously poison an adult, and eating more than 50 can cause death. That's why they are illegal in a lot of countries like the US. Luckily, that 36-year-old patient I told you about eventually regained consciousness after being given different remedies like activated charcoal.
וואי, איזה מזל, חשבתי זה ייגמר אחרת, כאילו במוות.
And sodium bicarbonate and night farm. This goes for all the foods featured in this video. The good news is that most of them are only toxic if you eat parts you shouldn't, have ridiculously high amounts, or if they aren't processed correctly.
Add it to your tea. Add it to food. Enjoy honey glazed chicken wings, honey chili potato.
And at the end of the day, this video is not meant to scare you, but to remind you to be mindful of what you eat. I hope it helps.
כן, זה ממש עוזר, אבל זה הפחיד אותי טיפה. קיצר חביבי, זה היה סרטון לים. מקווה מאוד שנהנתם. תנו לייק וסאב אם אהבתם, ואנחנו נתראה בסרטון הבא. יאללה ביי.